I love you. Heyo, and welcome back to the Couch Potatoes. I am the Green Traveler from Gorge.
And I am the Faceless Leon, the stretchiest experiment on Earth. This is Green and Faceless on the Couch, a podcast about movies and TV. And we're talking about TV today.
We're talking TV.
HBO made a show. Did you know they could do that? Did you know they could do that?
Occasionally they do.
Occasionally they do. And occasionally they're really good.
I watch 1 out of every 50 of them. Maybe.
Yeah. I watch more.
I do.
But yeah, they got.
I was gonna say the few I have watched on there have been good quality. Except, wasn't the Velma show on there too?
The Velma show was not very good. Okay, to be fair, it was.
It was good quality.
Yeah, good quality. I almost said acting, but that's not what I feel about it. Good quality animation, though, and the voice cast was good. But
yeah, for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
I could not finish it though.
No, I didn't finish it. It was not good acting.
I tried.
It's good casting.
I really tried.
It was really the script. I mean, how could you? I'm sorry. It's not good. If you're a fan of Scooby-Doo, don't watch Velma. Unless you're like,
I am all.
Or something. Sorry.
I am all for the changes they made.
Yeah.
Like, that's all good. I mean, we've already talked about this before, but it's just like, go ahead and change whatever you want to change. That was fine. It's just that writing, as you said. Woof.
Yeah, it's not good.
Woof. Like Scooby-Doo. Get
gross.
It? Woof.
Oh, yeah. Scooby-Doo.
How dare you do... maybe Scooby appears in at the end. I didn't stick around to the end to find out, but it's like, how dare you do a spinoff and not have the damn dog included?
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah.
All right, so
even just make him a pet of Shaggy's. It doesn't have to talk, but just give him a fucking dog or something.
Yes, I agree. I 100% agree.
We're
not talking about that at all. We are talking about The Last of Us, another HBO show that is based off of a video game series.
It is. Have you ever played the video game series?
I have not played the video game series. Have you?
I have.
Okay.
I didn't get far in it.
Okay.
It was in college. I was supposed to be working on a team project. I was that person that in a team project atmosphere. Normally I would give my all. I would try to help, but when it came to computer science, I found out really quickly that I was not smart enough to do computer science. Not in a terms of general intelligence, but in terms of understanding
the concepts.
The basics. I got that down pat. I loved coding. Programming was fun. I really enjoyed learning code languages and everything. That was great. But once you get into the harder concepts to make better, efficient programs and to do all this cool, fun stuff, I was like, I'm lost. And my partner knew that. He knew that I was very lost when it came to the project we were working on. And he was very lenient because, I gave maybe 30 to 40% to the final project. I tried. I really did try. But at the same time, he knew that where we were stuck at was something he was going to have to fix. And having me over at his apartment was just more of a courtesy to be like, I understand you're trying. At the same time, you're just stupid. Let me handle this. Here's a video game. It's called The Last of Us. Have you heard of it? And I said, yes, I've heard a lot of people talk about this. It's very fun.
I just see him holding the PS4 disc by the corner, the case. Here you go, Greg. Here you go.
Here you go. You play this. I'll work on the computer.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, that's what happened. And I played it. I played it for about 2 to 3 hours while fielding questions when, he would always toss me questions.
Right.
Again, I was actually trying to help this man.
Yeah.
But I wasn't that smart. And, he would toss me questions, be like, what do you think about this? And I'd be playing the game and be like, yeah. He was very good. I enjoyed him. We were friends. He understood that I was trying to help. So it was nice. But at the same time, playing the video game was hard as fuck all because I played it on hard mode because I was stupid, but I was like, I can do this. And like, I played it on hard, and in that mode, you basically have no ammo, and you're always dying. And that's...
Why did you play it on
from the
hard?
little bit I played with the... I don't know. I think I might have wanted to impress him a little bit, just be like, I'm a gamer. I was not a gamer. I was far from it. No, it was difficult though, but I will say that from the little bit I played, and I've watched other people play this game, like Ron Valdenskald, I believe I watched him play it, and a couple of YouTubers. They are deadly accurate with this fucking show. Like, they did such a good job at taking the video game, changing bits of it to make it very interesting and make it their own story.
Cool.
But at the same time, staying very loyal to both the characters and to the overarching plot points. Like, people they meet, things that they do.
Yeah.
Like, really well done. This show, like, in regards to accuracy, if people are out there complaining that there's still no good video game adaptations, then you haven't watched The Last of Us. I'll say that up front. Like,
well,
this
what
show
were
got
the old video game
adaptation
adaptations that they thought were good?
Well, I mean, there's people who complain that there's never been a good video game.
I thought you said there's
adaptation.
no more. And I was like...
No, sorry. I might have said no more, but I did not mean it because... Yeah, I've heard so many people complain about... And I mean, I've been that kind of a complainer too, because it's like... I don't know, when it comes to, it's like, we're going to take this video game and make it into a movie. Why? Just play the video game. Like,
yeah.
I never understood, I never understand it because the video game's already there, the story's already told.
So,
why wouldn't you want to have more control over it?
A bad example, but I feel like in most cases, besides this is also an outlier of what I'm about to say, but I feel like if you're going to adapt a video game, you should probably make it a story that isn't in the games. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, because, and like
Detective Pikachu.
Like Detective Pikachu. My example was going to be that Assassin's Creed movie, but Detective Pikachu is definitely a better movie, even though it's even though a lot of people don't think it was very good. I remember having a good time. I couldn't give.
I remember having fun.
To it.
No, it was definitely like, I hear what you're saying. Like, and I agree. Like, but I think The Last of Us did a really good job at taking the story arc, because there's so many different plot points in that game, and they did it so really pretty fucking well. Like, all the plot points are the same, and they did it. That stuff's beautiful. So yeah, if you are one of those sticklers. You just haven't watched this show. That's what I'm going to say up front.
You know what? I just realized that what you said was accurate because both Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Are pretty good shows. Okay?
That's fair.
They're not. Yeah. I guess technically they were card games instead of video games.
But Pokemon
has plenty of video games.
Exactly.
So
good. You made me feel smart then.
Yes,
I appreciate
you're smart then.
Before we dive into the synopsis, can I give a shout out?
Yeah, sure.
This one goes out to Bryce. I don't know if he's going to watch this episode, but that motherfucker nagged me for, 4 months about this show. Like, I don't know how long this show's been out, but like, ever since it came out, he's been like, "So, Greg, have you watched the show?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't seen it yet." Don't fucking talk to me for the whole day. And he would walk away. And he'd keep doing this to me over and over. He's like, "Did you watch it? Did you watch episode 3? That's the one I want you to watch. Did you watch episode 3? And I'd be like, "No, I'm sorry. I haven't watched it yet." Like, motherfucker hasn't seen Lord of the Rings, hasn't seen Star Wars. He hasn't seen so many other movies, and yet...
But if you don't watch my zombie show...
I was at fault for not watching his zombie show. This one's for you, Bryce. I don't know if you're going to listen, but I love you, buddy.
Okay, so let's get into the story. Or should we do... Yeah, we usually do synopsis first. So, Joel Miller, played by Pedro Pascal, he is with his brother Tommy and his daughter... his daughter's barely in it, and so is Tommy, really. But Tommy's played by Gabrielle Luna, and they are together when the world is infected with this new mushroom parasite called these things really do exist in the real world. They're called cordyceps. And they are, if you have heard of those ants that get infected with mushrooms, with a fungus, and it sprouts out of their head, that is what they're referring to. And so they say that, currently these creatures cannot survive in the human body long enough to fully infect it. However, with the changes in the environment in this world, this creature evolves to be able to attack human, and it spreads very aggressively and quickly.
Which is like, one, it's ridiculously scary.
Yes.
Because the way this show sets it up, the way the game sets it up, and the way you just set it up now, that's plausible.
Yeah, I know.
That really does make sense.
It's fucked.
it's terrifying. And looking into it deeper, you do see that there are scientists who have actually warned about this. How, fungi and everything is, it could be dangerous if it needs to evolve to live.
Yeah.
And it's scary stuff, man. It really is. And then I go out mushroom hunting, so, who am I to blame for wanting to eat all these fucking beautiful fungi?
Yeah, you said you haven't gotten to go yet.
They do.
This year. And that you wanted to.
I haven't been able to, no. It makes me really sad. Every time that the weather's been good, I've been busy. And then the time when I get the free time, it's fucking cold again. And, winter's upon us. And I'm just it's pissing me off. This weekend,
gone now.
I was looking, I was like, maybe I'll go this weekend because I'm not able to go home for Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. But at the same time, it's going to be fucking raining down here all fucking weekend.
See, though, that's good for the mushrooms, though, for the next day. So go Monday.
I'm trying to work overtime and walking in the rain for 3 hours in the cold tree lands. I'm liable to get sick.
Yeah, that's true.
And I wouldn't get my overtime pay then.
That's true. So it's mushrooms or overtime. So I have outdoor complaints myself. My yard has so many ticks. I hate it.
Oh yeah, it's awful.
Fucking hate it. Sucks. They're in my pants sometimes. Hate it.
Out in the boonies.
Yeah, I need to either. I don't know. I was trying to delay using bug spray for the longest time because the dog Garlic licks at it, and that can't be good for her. But I can just use a wash rag after I take her out or whatever.
Yeah.
Or
you get a family of possum. Hear me out.
Yes, and let them live in the chicken coop. Yeah, nothing's in there. Yeah.
They are friendly. I mean, obviously, Garlic would try to be killing them. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's an issue. I understand that. But I'm sure you can figure a workaround because those motherfuckers love ticks. They'll eat your ticks.
Yeah, they will.
And
I
they're America's only marsupial.
Believe that they would eat the quantity of ticks that would be helpful to me.
Oh, I could believe it. I could totally believe it. At the very least, they'll put those fucking ticks in a fear for their life. They don't carry disease.
That's
crazy. They're beautiful things.
Yeah.
People think they're ugly. I think they're beautiful. I really
do.
They're
a creature. Yes.
I'll get some for you. Next time I see a possum and he rolls over to play dead, I'll just put him in a box. I'll bring him to you. Yeah. Populate.
Oh, God.
I got you.
I mean, honestly, Sarah would not mind. So there's that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like Sarah would love a good possum. They're so cute.
Okay, anyways. The world sucks, and people lose a bunch of people, and time passes. His daughter dies.
14 years, man.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous how much time passes from... But, I mean, it really establishes that, hey, this world is going to be completely different than what you expect.
Yeah. I mean, the game does do it too. The game does have a time jump. You play the intro to like learn all the moves and stuff, and then like, you know, that's the intro is the death of his daughter, which is sad.
Yeah.
But it's also the outbreak, the initial outbreak,
and it's also Phrygian. Just saying.
That's true. Yeah, it is. Well, she's got way more of a character though than most Fridge characters. I will say that.
That is true. But
yeah, she has a big role for the first 20 minutes of that episode.
This is true, but she is just in the show to give Joel a broody motivation.
Right. But to counter that again, that they introduced the character of Bella Ramsey, who is in the game. She's voiced by oh gosh, I'm blanking on her name. Audrey Johnson. Audrey.
Ashley right. Johnson.
I believe. Ashley Johnson. Thank you. From Critical Role and so many other things. Just absolute beautiful actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's the voice in the game, and that was one of the drawing points for me.
Who watch primetime TV.
Oh yeah. Gotta remember that. I've never even watched that show or seen it.
She's
anywhere.
good in it.
So
I did put the show down after they like solved the mystery and then reset the mystery. But she's good in it.
That's good. And so is her replacement here in Bella Ramsey. They are just absolutely stellar as Ellie. Like, literally, I watched this show and then I just like turned around and watched a YouTuber play it, like run through the game, and I forgot how like mildly different Ellie is in the game. Like, there's small differences, but it was just like when the game was happening, I was like, that's not Ellie. Like, what? Who? Yeah. And I was like, oh right, you know, Bella Ramsey did a little bit of like. Yeah, different character. There's small differences, but it's just it's phenomenal really still good. How beautifully like loyal to the adaptation it was. Like it's really amazing how they did this.
They are a very talented actor. I thought so when they were in Game of Thrones. They're only in like 6, maybe 7 episodes.
Who were they in Game of Thrones? I didn't know they were in Game of Thrones.
The Lady Mormont, who takes over as a child after I guess after whoever was in charge of the family other than Joran and the Lord Commander, but
gotcha,
because he renounced his title. But yeah,
I feel like I just got to her in the books because I'm rereading them, and I think there might be more, like Lyanna might be more important in the book than I can't remember. And she's such a small character, and that you're right. Like, I guess would only be like 6 episodes. But you know, anyways,
the time that they are on screen, Bella Ramsey demands the attention, and they work so well as a child who's forced into that position to be a leader. Oh, it's so good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Like if you really like
actors.
Yeah, they really did. If you really liked Bella Ramsey in this, I recommend just going, if you don't want to watch Game of Thrones, go just watch their scenes.
You know I can't do that. You know I can't. My brain needs the full thing or not at all. That's why I've never gotten into TikToks and YouTube shorts, because it's just like, watch this short video. I'm like, I can't do that. If I watch one person's short video, I've got to watch all their fucking short videos, and I'm not going to get lost in that fucking mayhem. But no, Ellie in this, Bella Ramsey's character, Ellie, 14-year-old girl, born after the initial spread. So she's, I can't remember what they call those babies, but like, it's their version of like, how we have the baby boomers. That's what these ones were, the post, basically like nowadays, the post-pandemic, any kid coming after COVID, post-pandemic baby. But yeah, Ellie finds out that she's immune. She's, in one of the episodes, she's, they have a flashback to her hanging out with a friend. They both get attacked by the zombies. She gets bit, but she's fine. She, it takes usually I think it was 24 hours to infect her from the area she was bitten in.
Right.
And, after 48 hours, nothing. After a week, nothing. And this undercover...
It's pretty, pretty fast. Like, if you get bit,
yeah,
you got like a day, maybe two.
Maybe two, yeah. If you're bitten in the leg, it was like 2 days. Like, if it's furthest away from the brain or whatever.
Right. Probably, if they didn't get an artery, it might take longer.
What is that group of people called? The
Fireflies?
Fireflies, thank you.
It's Fireflies and Fedra.
What was the other one?
Fedra is the government.
Fedra, that's right.
They are basically the military took over martial law, whatever, and now the organization that they have is called Fedra, and they have fortresses all around. Quarantine zones is what they call them. That's like the cities now that are under the control of Fedra.
Oh, that was one of the coolest shots too. Is when they show Boston, because that's like where Joel and Ellie both are in regards to the beginning of the show.
That's right.
They're in the Boston quarantine zone. There's just like one shot from very far away within the city. The shot is. But you can see how like all the buildings are destroyed and everything, and how the city has now conglomerated in the very center in that quarantine zone. Yeah, and it's really cool because it shows you how so much has changed,
and also how much is lost from people. So Joel in the town, he has a partner that they're kind of like mercenaries, really, like. But you get the sense that they stopped doing the bad jobs and started making more friends. You learn later that, especially at the beginning, like after Sarah died, Joel did some very, very bad things in the name of survival, but also, there were other ways. That he
was just so trapped in grief that he was just,
Yeah. And one of the people that he did it with was this partner. Well, they probably did do it too, but that's not what I meant. But the character I'm talking about is played by Anna Torv from Fringe. And I'm sure other things, but that's the only thing I really remember.
Yeah, literally, it was hilarious because their character's name is Tess.
That's right.
And
Teresa Servopoulos.
Thank you. And I watched, because I can't binge watch shows, right? Like, that's impossible for me. I watched one episode a day, maybe two if I was feeling frisky. But, I watched the first episode, and then the next day I went to work, and I, walked up to Bryce, and I was like, hey, Bryce, you know what would have gotten me to watch this show much faster? And he's like, what's that? And I was like, if you told me that Anna Torv was in it. And he's like, I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. And I was just like, I knew you wouldn't, but she's the lead in the TV show Fringe, and that's one of my favorite shows of all time. So
she's really good, too. I think
she's so amazing.
I think maybe the reason why she hasn't gotten more roles is because she kind of has a bit of a gruff, maybe even masculine personality.
Yeah, she usually does play more action heavy characters too.
Yeah, and some people in the industry don't like that.
For females.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, some people don't like that in the industry, and I think that they're stupid. Yeah. Anna Torv is great.
I want more Anna Torv.
I think she would be a really good Sarah
Connor. I want more
Connor.
Anna Torv.
If they did a more recent reboot of Terminator, which they're never going to stop making new ones, so that's not going to happen.
They never will, but I wish they would.
Yeah. But I do think she would have made a very good Sarah Connor type character for sure.
Yeah. She's got a lot of. She reminds me a lot of Cate Blanchett, and many times
that she does.
Just I don't know. Make a movie with Cate Blanchett and Anna Torv as sisters,
that
something.
Would be cool.
I want more Anna Torv. Damn it, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that could be cool.
In this show, I won't spoil everything, but I will say that Anna Torv is only in like 2 or 3 episodes. So like, yeah, don't go in like I did, being like, Anna Torv, yes. I mean, I love Pedro Pascal too. He's so fucking hot, and he's a great dad. But like, I mean, he's not a real dad in real life, but like, he is internet daddy. Like, you know, come on,
yes,
like. I love Pedro Pascal. We'll gush over him.
He was such a good dad in 1984. Such a good dad.
Oh God! But no, I really do. I do love Pedro Pascal, but for the first 2 episodes, I was like, yes, Anna Torv. I haven't seen her since Fringe, and I was turning in for that. She was
pretty good in it. Like it is a small role, but for those 3 episodes, she is a main character. And this, like a lot of other zombie series out there, when I say a lot of other, I mean The Walking Dead and their subsidiaries, they can make a character feel important and then kill him off in a couple episodes.
Yeah. I honestly hate that, though.
I do
really
too.
Hate that.
I do too.
It's the same thing with Game of Thrones.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
It's like, don't make me fall in love just to rip
the rug out from under me. That is honestly kind of how I feel about episode 3 a little bit, because it's so good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We gotta talk episode 3. That is the best of the season. Mm-hmm. I will say that immediately. And it's just like so it's a thing in Doctor Who too, where you have an episode without your main characters, and yet somehow it's the best of that entire season.
Yes,
because it's like Doctor Who, Blink,
that's
where
really
the doctors,
episode.
He's just in a videotape for the whole episode, where it's just like him telling the character we're following, "Hey, don't blink, or these angels will get you," and that's it.
Right.
And it just follows this completely other character.
And this episode has Joel and not Ellie in it.
Bella.
But it has Tess in it as well. Joel and Tess.
Yeah.
Because they are friends with Frank and Bill, and so we're kind of jumping into it a little bit. But Bill is played by Nick Offerman, and Frank is played by Murray Bartlett. And they meet each other not too long, maybe a couple years after the infection starts, and they start a relationship. Bill honestly has not come out as gay, and he's a survivalist. And he meets Frank, and he hates people. Bill hates people, but
it's beautiful.
For some reason, it doesn't take him very long to fall in love with Frank. And that is because Murray Bartlett really is charming in this. He's charming.
He really is.
Yeah, he's charming in really the other things that I've seen him in too. Which the main thing, and most recently, is the White Lotus. They played Armand in the first season of that. Very, very good character. Totally different character. He's got like a New Zealand accent in that. Also gay, but very more forward with it.
That's right.
But they're really good.
There's something about Bill and Frank where it's just like, I don't know if, Bill is just because he was, he didn't even know himself. I don't think. I think there was like like obviously I feel like, he had inner desires and everything, but like he had closed that himself off from a lot of that. Mm-hmm. Whereas Frank, I feel like it was more of like a surviving kind of thing where, he hid his personality more because he didn't know who Bill was.
That's true. That's true. But somehow Frank sees it in Bill and helps him come to terms with it by sleeping with him. And it's good. Yes.
It's so beautiful. And then just like that whole episode, it's just like 20 years, but glimpses at certain moments throughout this 20-year relationship kind of thing throughout this pandemic. And it's so fucking beautiful.
It's
like
really
I was
good.
bawling with tears by the end.
But killing the queers is a trope that Hollywood should get away from. But it still was a very beautiful romance. If that was the whole movie, the whole show, or a movie rather, I would be completely satisfied, because the whole episode in itself is completely satisfying, and it makes them so that they're not background characters at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like though that in regards to the show, like if it's the same thing. If you wanted to say that, because it's like same thing as the fridging. My argument against it is the same argument there, where if it was killing the gay characters, it would have just been like, hey, we had these two gay characters that are dead within 5 minutes.
Right.
This one, like, focused on their whole life, but the problem was for the main characters to get to the next plot point, these two, you know, like, what had to happen had to happen.
Yeah, but they were also hoping for their help. I mean, they do get their help, but it is posthumous for the two characters in question, Bill and Frank.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I really love this episode. It's really good. I really did think it was one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen. Like, because I watched the whole thing and was just like immediately in love, mainly with like Nick Offerman's performance.
He's really good.
I've only seen him in comedy roles, really, where he has his version of that comedy, which is always wonderful. And he is, of course, like, he is a manly man, you know, like, if I were to, like, think of, like, my ideal, you know, like, if I had to, like, think, what is a man? I think Nick Offerman, usually, because I was just like, you know, he's got this beautiful charisma, he's very kind, he's not afraid to talk about his emotions, like, he is a beautiful man, and he also has a great sense of humor. And then he plays Bill.
Yeah.
And, like, there's a lot of Nick Offerman in Bill.
Definitely.
But, like, there's so much depth to that character. Like, he did a fucking phenomenal role. Both of them did, obviously.
He is a great emotional actor. Like, I feel like everything I've seen him in, he is Nick Offerman. Like, even, he was in Pam and Tommy. I talked about that a long time ago.
And I did not watch it, but I remember you talking about it.
He was this porn producer that worked with Rand, the guy that stole the tape. And that character, I mean, it's still Nick Offerman, but it's Nick Offerman high off his ass on coke. So
he's got range.
He's got range.
But yeah, sadly they are past when the main characters come to receive their aid. And that pushes the characters further onward, because again, I don't think we really mentioned, but like Joel is trying to get Ellie to the Fireflies across the country.
Right,
like he's trying to get to, I think, Oregon.
I think so, and they're in Boston.
Yeah, and on the way he wants to find his brother.
Might be Seattle.
You know, last he heard of his brother, might have been. I'm not sure. But he wants to find his brother because his brother was keeping in contact with him across radio, but then he just went dark. And so, you know, he's Joel's fearing the worst. He wants to go find the only family he has left.
Right.
And along the way, brews this beautiful, you know, father-daughter relationship with Ellie, which is just
it's really
phenomenal
good.
How they both work into each other.
Yeah. It's really good. They, like I said, there are several chapters, like, they come across cannibals. They come across another town of actually decent people who almost don't let them go, because they're trying to keep secret. And obviously they come in contact with plenty of infected, and there's just so many things. Oh yeah, of course. They come to another city. I believe it was in Delaware, but I'm not sure. And the people have taken over from Fedra, and they're just like killing. It's like the whatever the terrible times were called in France. They're just fucking killing everybody.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
There's just so many pictures of humanity.
And it's funny too in that episode because the leader of the people is a character in 2.5 Men.
Yeah, that's true. Their name
it's very weird.
Is Kathleen
Melanie Lynskey.
Yeah, Melanie Lynskey plays Kathleen Colleen. I'm really bad with Irish names, Scottish names.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I thought she was going to be a main character. That's one interesting thing about this show. Like I said, they introduce characters that seem like they're going to be important, and then in the long run, they're not really.
It's more episodic, even though there is that long arcing story between Ellie and Joel. Right. It's very episodic in that, each episode is pretty much its own thing. It's like, now Ellie and Joel meet these people.
That's right.
Here we go,
Well, I would say at this point we either take a soda pop break or we do closing statements. I'm really not quite sure what else to talk about. There was one other episode that was very much, like episode 3, and it's towards the end. Mm-hmm. And that is how Ellie found herself in the hands of the Fireflies in the first place.
Right.
I can't remember what her friend's name was. She's only in this one episode.
Best friend Riley.
Is it Riley?
Storm Reed. Yeah, Storm Reed playing Riley Abel.
Thank you.
An orphaned girl who was Ellie's best friend at military school.
And they were roommates and everything. And, they reveal to each other at the end of this that they really have very strong feelings for each other in a romantic sense. And it's really cute. So Riley knows that the Fireflies are going to ship her out because she's deserted for Fredra and joined the Fireflies. So she has not abducted. That's not the right word. But she has helped Ellie escape for the night, which seems to be something that they do on the regular.
Right.
And they went to this mall that they thought was off limits because it was full of infected. Or what do they call them? In the show?
I can't remember what they called it.
It's something to do with mushrooms, but I don't remember. Anyways,
yeah, I don't think they called them cordyceps, but that's just the virus.
That's the mushroom that is actually killing them. That's what the family name of it is. But Riley shows Ellie around this mall. And all the great cool things that you could do at the mall, ending in a Halloween shop or something. And the whole time Ellie is like, hey, if you're just going to leave me, you should just go and stop doing all this cool fun stuff for me. And being kind of a little bit bratty about it because she's upset that, her crush is leaving her. Really, the only love that we know about for Ellie is Riley. And then, spoilers, they get attacked. And Riley dies, and Ellie doesn't. And then, being that it was a part of a Firefly base, I believe, the mall, they do get found by this Firefly leader that apparently actually was the one who sent Ellie to the military base. But we'll leave that for the viewer. But anyways, this episode was also very touching. And I thought, having the episode with Nick Offerman and the other character, Frank, I think that it really fit in the show, the way that this show is told.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was a great addition. Because
I agree.
Because otherwise you didn't get this background story with Ellie. You get it with Joel, and you got to wait a long time to get it for Ellie. And it's really good.
But I think it works perfectly with the moment that's going on in the present day story.
Yeah.
Because that one's kind of told in tandem with that story. And it's really well done. Like, I really enjoyed that stuff. There's even another episode too. I think before we wrap up, we got to talk Sam and his brother Henry. Is that right?
Oh.
Yeah, Sam and Henry. Oh,
that's right.
Henry is the older brother, played by Lamar Johnson. And Sam is played by Kevin Montreal Woodard.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in that episode where with that city we were talking about, with Kathleen.
Yeah. And they're on the run.
Kathleen. Kathleen's main focus is to kill Henry and Sam because she's really mad at them. So she has this whole city out to look for Henry and Sam, and Joel and Ellie find Henry and Sam. And I love their story. They're two brothers. Henry's doing everything he can to keep his, to protect Sam.
Yeah.
And this show has so many different, I'm going to sneeze. Hold on a second. Uh-oh.
Look in the light.
It's gone.
Okay.
It's gone. This show has so many beautiful moments like that. Just beautiful episodes, vignettes. Story arcs, character lines. Vignettes. There you go. That's the right word. Yeah, I guess this is my closing statement now, too, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's cool.
But, it's fucking great. It really is fucking great. And, they even, they give a shout out to the voice actors of The Last of Us, and that, Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson both have small roles in the show as well.
They sure do. Ashley Johnson's was really good.
It was so good.
It was really good.
And I was really happy,
guess
too.
I missed Troy Baker's. Is that what you said his name was? Troy Baker?
Yeah, he just plays a henchman or something. I can't remember, honestly. It says here he is David's right-hand man. David was the preacher of this group. I remember now. I remember his character.
I see, yes. Yes, I remember.
Yeah. That's another town that Joel and Ellie come across. And we won't spoil that one, I don't think, because that one's pretty dark.
Apparently, Laura Bailey was a nurse.
Oh, hell yeah. That's awesome. I didn't see her.
I didn't either, but I just saw it in the cast list. That's hilarious. I believe that she is the protagonist in the sequel, but I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, Audrey or whatever her name is?
Oh, I have no idea.
I can't remember what.
Here, let me look up The Last of Us.
I never played The Last of Us 2. I know they teased her at the end of this show. There was a teaser for her. Abby. Oh, who's a badass female. I remember seeing photos of Abby when the game was coming out. Anyway, but Ashley plays Ellie's mother in a flashback episode, and it's I don't know. My closing statement is I fucking loved it. 4-star show, great adaptation. Great acting. Pedro Pascal is amazing as Joel. Everything I would want from a live action Joel. And again, both characters are very loyal and very different. And it's the same with Bella Ramsey. Phenomenal. This is my introduction to them, and I love them immediately.
Then maybe I can persuade you to check out a movie that they have on Amazon. I can't quite remember what the title is right this minute, but it is about. It's a period piece, probably really early.
Catherine Called Birdie.
Yes, that's it. That's the one.
A historical comedy.
Yes, and it looks rather good, and I think maybe we could pair it with something. Maybe even there's this movie about this Swedish queen, I believe she's Swedish, that did not want to be considered like a queen. She wanted to be considered like a king. I think her name was Catherine. But anyways, that's all I gotta say.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I just found out also that Bella Ramsey is in a Doctor Who video game, Doctor Who Infinity. So that's hilarious. Now I can always say that, Bella Ramsey, and they were in Doctor Who, video game.
They would be a good add to Doctor Who. They should be in a Doctor Who episode.
They really should.
Yeah.
I mean, they already got
Maisie,
Arya Stark.
Yeah.
Maisie Williams.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well,
just get the rest of the
my
Game
closing
of Thrones
statement.
cast.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
I think that it's a very good show. I give it a face and a half. I really enjoyed it. The ending, I think, was rather good, but it also was like not what I was expecting. By also being what I was expecting. You know what I mean?
Right. The character makes a choice that you don't want them to make,
right.
But at the same time, you're like, I understand why you're making this choice.
Yes, and it is a good story. All the way around, it's a good story. But I do think the ending, it might leave some folks upset, just fair warning. But it is very good. If you're going into this not looking to be upset, it is a zombie series, and I'm sorry, you're probably going to be disappointed.
Yeah, you're going to be very upset. That's like, I want to feel happy. I'm going to watch The Walking Dead. Like, no.
No, sorry.
Nobody watches that show for a happy good time.
If that's your happy place, then I'm sorry about your life. All right, I think that's the show.
Let's finish it. Yeah. Before we're all turned into zombies ourselves.
That's right. Oh, I feel it. It's crawling up my arm.
We had a zombie outbreak on... We had a zombie outbreak on Gorsh. It was pretty interesting.
Oh, really? Did you?
Yeah.
Anybody
not that terrifying.
Get sick? Return?
No, nobody I knew. No, it was just like there's so there's 4 continents, and it was on a continent I'd never go to. That was the shithole continent.
That's what it was named, shithole continent.
No, that's what we called it. Okay. We were like, oh, the shithole continent.
But it doesn't have a name.
Yeah,
this continent.
Many Gortians were like Trump. Yeah. Oh. Well, nobody would understand the Gortian language, and I don't want to say it.
All right.
Yeah,
it's embarrassing.
It makes some. Yeah, no, it makes some human ears bleed, and I just don't want to...
Well, I don't have ears, but we are hoping that the humans listen to it.
Yeah.
So, thanks for listening to our show. If you enjoyed it, you can join us down at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. We do another show there called Bangers and Hash about movies and TV as well, but it's formatted differently. And, there's other great things there. So... that's the show.
This is I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leon. Safe travels and good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of FictionWorks 19. Are you a fan of the show? Feel free to contact us at greenandfacelessfans@gmail.com or visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, or rate us on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.